The planet Ardenes Prime glittered beneath the night sky like a jewel placed carefully in the center of the galaxy. Towers of silver glass stretched toward the stars, and thousands of lights shimmered across the capital city. It was the heart of one of the most powerful civilizations ever known, the Astrix Empire. For most citizens, the night was peaceful. For Sergeant Marcus Hale, it was just another long shift. Marcus leaned against a marble pillar outside the Imperial Cultural District, watching hover traffic drift slowly across the sky. His armor felt heavier than usual tonight, though he couldn't explain why. Being stationed in the capital was considered an honor. But Marcus knew the truth. It was mostly ceremonial. He wasn't guarding battlefronts or fighting alien warlords. He was standing watch while wealthy nobles attended galas and politicians whispered in golden halls. Not exactly heroic work. Still, a soldier followed orders. Marcus checked the time on his wrist display and sighed. 3 more hours, he muttered. Then something caught his attention. Across the street, a woman walked alone along the quiet walkway between 2 enormous gardens. Her cloak flowed behind her in the soft night wind, and she moved with calm confidence. Marcus frowned. Important visitors usually traveled with guards. But this woman had none. Maybe she was just another noble enjoying the evening. Still, something felt off. A suspicious shadow. Marcus straightened slightly. A second figure had appeared behind the woman. At first glance, it looked like a pedestrian crossing the street. But Marcus's instincts immediately sharpened. Years of military training had taught him to recognize danger before it fully revealed itself. The second figure moved too quietly, too deliberately, and his hand was hidden beneath his cloak. Marcus pushed away from the pillar. His hand rested casually on the stun pistol at his hip. Across the plaza, the shadowed figure closed the distance behind the woman. 10 meters. 8 meters. 5. Marcus's heart suddenly started pounding. The man's arm slipped from beneath the cloak. A blade flashed under the lights. Marcus moved instantly. The interruption. "Hey!" Marcus shouted as he sprinted forward. The assassin spun in surprise, but it was too late. Marcus slammed into him just as the blade swung toward the woman's back. The 2 men crashed onto the stone walkway. The assassin was fast. Faster than Marcus expected. He twisted violently, bringing the blade down toward Marcus's chest. Marcus barely rolled aside in time. The blade scraped across his armor. Marcus drove his elbow into the attacker's ribs and grabbed his wrist. The assassin fought like a trained killer, silent, efficient, relentless. But Marcus had spent 12 years in the military. He knew how to survive fights. The struggle lasted only seconds. Marcus slammed the assassin's arm against the ground until the blade clattered away. Then he struck the man's helmet with the butt of his pistol. The attacker went still. Marcus stood up, breathing heavily. "Security breach," he shouted into his communicator. Attempted assassination at the Cultural District. Footsteps echoed nearby as security drones began rushing toward the scene. Only then did Marcus remember the woman. He turned toward her. "You okay?" he asked. The woman stood perfectly still. Her hood slowly fell back. Marcus blinked. Her face was unfamiliar, but something about her presence was commanding. Her eyes studied him carefully. "You interfered," she said calmly. Marcus shrugged. "Guy had a knife." Seemed like a bad situation. For a moment, she simply stared at him. Then, to Marcus's surprise, she smiled. The arrival of the guard. Within seconds, armored soldiers poured into the plaza. Not regular city security. These soldiers wore sleek black armor marked with glowing silver insignias. Marcus recognized the symbol immediately. Imperial Royal Guard. His stomach dropped. The soldiers surrounded the woman instantly. Every single one of them dropped to one knee. "Your Majesty," the commander said. Marcus froze. Your Majesty? The woman turned toward him again. I suppose introductions are necessary now, she said softly. My name is Empress Vaelara of the Astrix Empire. Marcus's brain stopped working. The woman he had just saved was the most powerful ruler in the galaxy. The truth revealed. Marcus stared at the unconscious assassin on the ground, then back at the Empress. You're serious? He asked. The Royal Guard commander looked offended, but Vaelara only nodded. Yes. Marcus ran a hand through his hair. Of course you are. He pointed at the attacker. So, that guy just tried to assassinate the Empress of the Astrix Empire. Yes. And I tackled him. Yes. And I almost got stabbed. Vaelara tilted her head slightly. Yes. Marcus sighed. Great. An unexpected conversation. The Royal Guard quickly secured the assassin and sealed off the plaza. Marcus expected to be dismissed immediately. Instead, Vaelara approached him. The guards seemed uneasy about it, but she raised a hand, stopping them. You reacted without hesitation, she said. Marcus shrugged. That's the job. You did not know who I was. Nope. Yet you risked your life anyway. Marcus scratched the back of his neck. I mean, I wasn't going to let someone get stabbed. Vaelara studied him quietly. You are human. Last time I checked. You humans are unusual. Marcus chuckled. Yeah, we hear that a lot. The assassin's secret. Hours later, Marcus sat inside a secure Imperial chamber while investigators questioned the captured assassin. The situation had become far more serious than he expected. The attacker wasn't a random killer. He was a professional operative. And worse, he had help inside the Empire. Someone powerful had ordered the assassination. The discovery sent shockwaves through the Imperial Council. When the interrogation ended, Vaelara entered the chamber. Marcus stood up awkwardly. Your Majesty. She waved the title away. You saved my life tonight, Sergeant Hale. Marcus shrugged. Just lucky timing. Vaelara looked directly at him. No. Her voice was quiet but firm. Not luck. A dangerous offer. Later that night, Marcus stood alone on the balcony outside the Imperial chambers. The city lights shimmered across the horizon. Footsteps approached behind him. Vaelara stepped beside him. The assassination attempt will not be the last, she said. Marcus nodded. Powerful people make powerful enemies. Yes. She looked toward the sky. I have thousands of guards, advisors, and generals. Marcus waited. But tonight, she continued, a single soldier succeeded where all of them failed. Marcus laughed softly. I just happened to be nearby. Vaelara turned toward him. And that is exactly why you succeeded. He frowned. What do you mean? She answered calmly. The assassin expected trained guards. He did not expect a human soldier who simply followed his instincts. Marcus crossed his arms. Where are you going with this? Vaelara smiled slightly. I would like you to join my personal security council. Marcus nearly choked. You're what? A soldier's choice. The offer shocked everyone. A human soldier becoming part of the Empress's inner circle was unheard of. Many nobles protested. Others were curious. But Vaelara did not change her decision. When Marcus finally asked her why she trusted him, her answer was simple. Because you did not know who I was. And yet you protected me. Marcus thought about that for a long time. Finally, he sighed. Well, I guess this beats standing outside fancy buildings all night. Vaelara laughed. It was the first time Marcus had heard the Empress laugh. And strangely, it sounded human. A new legend. In the months that followed, the story spread across the galaxy. A lone soldier had stopped an assassination attempt against the Empress of the Astrix Empire. Not a famous general, not a powerful noble, just a human sergeant doing his job. Many people called it luck. Others called it destiny. But in the private records of the Astrix Empire, Empress Vaelara wrote a different explanation. Her message was short. In a galaxy ruled by power and ambition, one soldier acted without either. He did not save an empress. He simply saved a life. And that is why humanity will one day become one of the most important forces in the galaxy. And far above the shining towers of Ardennes Prime, a lone soldier who had once guarded empty streets now stood at the side of the most powerful ruler in existence. All because he refused to ignore a shadow in the dark.